There we go. Are we connected? Hey, I'm Mona Corwin, and this is Mom Life with Mona. And today we're going to talk about negative self-talk. Moms, we get it the worst. We get it the worst. As moms transition from being in the workplace or just being all about what you were doing in your life and your husband and your dreams and what you wanted to wear and what you wanted to eat, and as we transition into taking care of other people and making sure their needs are met, and even though we love these babies and these children and this man so much, we kind of sometimes wonder where we're at. Hi Camilla, how are you? I'm Mona, and I am going to be talking to you today about the negative talk that we do as moms. I know that as moms, we end up dissing ourselves. We end up telling ourselves that what we're doing isn't good. And our culture kind of continues that in our in motherhood. And our culture isn't really valuing motherhood, marriage, and womanhood very much lately. And that may be just my opinion, but I'm kind of old enough that maybe I could have an opinion. Because I'm Mona Corwin, and I am the mom mentor, and I am here to help you with your mom life. I'm here to help you find the clarity and the confidence that you need to continue on and have the kind of life that you want with your children and your husband, your gifts and callings, which you absolutely should still be pursuing. And there's lots of ways we can do that and still be a mom and a wife. And then also to take your spiritual life and weave it in, because ultimately it just doesn't work without Jesus. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about negative self-talk that moms have. Now, in this culture that we have, there's a lot of the negative things about kind of like, what did you do for me lately? And isn't what my needs, why aren't they being met? And in reality, if we're going to be like Jesus, we're going to have to learn to lay down our lives for others. That doesn't mean you totally, I'm sorry, I've got my coffee. That doesn't mean you forget your life. So when you try to balance this, it's kind of tricky. But as we get ready and we're balancing and we're working towards the balance of being a self-sacrificing wife and mom, but yet taking care of ourselves to keep us healthy, because nobody's any good if we're not good, and then also living out our gifts and talents, as we're learning to balance that and ebb and flow it in a new field called motherhood. I don't know about you, but that wasn't on the curriculum at my college. That wasn't in the school that I went to. Couldn't take a class on that. And as we're getting ready to do that, we need to remember a few things. And some of those few things are that as we transition, we're going to be hearing a lot of negative self-talk. And you need to be able to discern between things that are negative, that are like from the enemy or gremlins or whatever you want to call it. I call it the enemy because I believe it is. And the truth that God would convict us to move forward into the selflessness that he had, into the way God would have you be a woman, into the way God would have you be a wife and a mom. And as we're doing that, that conviction and condemnation, those two things go back and forth with one another. Now, let me tell you the difference. Condemnation is negative self-talk about who you are, like the basis of who you are. Like, you are bad. You're bad. You're stupid. And when you hear the word you, that's a good indicator that you're not hearing yourself and you're not hearing from the Lord. So condemnation, it goes down, condemns you. It condemns you. It says you didn't, you yelled at your kid in the grocery store, and now you're in the car and you're feeling really bad and you're embarrassed. And you just know everybody thinks you're stupid and everybody thinks you're a bad mom. And the police are coming any minute to take away your kids. When in reality, it's the enemy talking to you and saying, you're a bad mom. You're never going to get this. You're out of control. You're really bad about this, and pretty soon everybody's going to know it. You really should be at work because you don't have this motherhood thing down at all. You could even hear, it would be better if someone else was raising these kids. Maybe I do need to put them in a daycare because I just can't get it. You could be hearing that. That's negative self-talk, girl. That's a lie. That's a lie. You were created for that. Aw, yeah. And you know, Camelia, I know that a lot of the girls, Camelia said, so good, she needed this afternoon after a rough day yesterday. After a long weekend, I got to thinking, y'all are going to wake up this morning, you're going to be counting all the things that you did bad. And you don't need to do that. I want you to focus on the good things, the good things. So condemnation brings you down. It's negative. And it is from the enemy. You're bad, you're stupid, you're worthless. Somebody else should be doing this, not you. Well, let me tell you something, sweet pea. God created women to be mothers. Somebody else really can do it. You can imitate it, but you can't duplicate it. You cannot duplicate you. You cannot duplicate the love that you have for your child. You can imitate it, other people can do it, but it won't be the same. It's never the same. I mean, it's just not the same. The love of a mother cannot be duplicated. It can't. I'm pretty sure that I love my kids unconditionally, and I love my kids with all my heart. My adopted kids are my kids. They are my kids. So when it comes to adoption, and you adopted moms out here, you can love your children more than anybody else because they have been taken into your heart and you have legal authority to do that. That doesn't mean their birth moms didn't love them. They did. It's a special connection for adoption, which I talked about in one of my other mom lives. And you'll have to go over there and check that one out if you're adopted mom. But if you're a mom and you're hearing negative self-talk about the stuff that happened this weekend, you need to know the difference between condemnation and conviction. Because you know what? Even though those things are sounding like condemning in your ear, you know what, girl? You might have had a bad temper. You really might not have handled your kids properly. You really might need to grow in some areas. And that's that transitioning from being a woman that's all on her own and being a woman that is a mother and a self-sacrificing mother that still can take care of herself. This is a balancing act. And it's not this. It's what is balance. Mona, I feel like I'm talking to my girls. Mom has told you before. Mona. The mom mentors told you before. I told you before. Balance is taking the appropriate amount of attention and placing it in the proper place at the proper time. It's not 50-50. Because if it was 50-50, somebody would lose here, right? It's not. So you're going to take the appropriate amount of attention and place it on your motherhood because it is the proper time. And the proper place is your kids. And you need to learn how to do it. So conviction actually is from the Lord. It says, hey, we don't lose our temper. We have self-control. God lifts you up. Conviction. He lifts you up. Condemnation. If you're hearing negative thoughts about yourself, that is not from the Lord. It's not. It's either from you or the enemy. And I want you to be able to break free from it. I'm going to read you, I'm going to read it straight out of my scriptures because my tongue is coming all over myself today. All right. Many of you know this, and I do know it by heart. Philippians 4. Finally, brothers, whatever's true, whatever's noble, whatever's right, whatever's pure, whatever's lovely, whatever's admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think on these things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. And the me is Jesus. So whatever you've seen in Jesus, whatever you've seen in his character, are you studying his character? Great place to start. Lots of the women that I mentor, we start with the character of God, and we go through those character traits. Maybe we can do that sometime. I'll go through the character traits on Mom Life. But praiseworthy, noble. Now listen to it in the Message Bible. Hey Maria, welcome. I know you love this verse. The Lord always sends me back to Philippians 4. I go to Philippians 4, and do you know how I remember where it's at? Because sometimes, well, even back when I had little ones, I couldn't remember where it was at. I knew it was a good verse, but I couldn't remember the address. And I would tell myself to go to Philippians 4, peace. Philippians 4, peace. Because I needed peace a lot. Because, girlfriend, I was a mess. I was a mess with no background, no church upbringing. And I somehow figured out that the Lord had the right way. And when I found it, I couldn't get enough of it. And that's how it'll be for you too. Okay, so in the Message Bible, which is another translation, and I do have a Mom Life, and actually I think it's a Periscope on choosing a translation in Bibles and stuff like that. Philippians 4 again, and it says, summing it all up, friends, I'd say you'll do the best by filling your mind and meditating on things that are true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious, the best, not the worst, the beautiful, not the ugly, things to be praised and not things to be cursed. Put into practice what you've learned from me and what you said and saw and realized. Do that, and God, who makes everything work together, will work you into his most excellent harmonies. We can have excellent harmonies in our home. We can have excellent harmonies in our motherhood and in our womanhood. And the way we do it is by taking the Word of God and making it part of our lives. And listening when we maybe need some help in an area. It may very well be that you need to have more patience with your kids, or you need to not talk so rough. It might be that. Maybe you need to learn some different kinds of discipline. Another thing that I've learned recently is that problems aren't just problems. They don't just amplify the awfulness of who you are. But when we change our thinking and we think that our problems are actually warning signs that something needs to be changed. And if something needs to be changed, a problem alerts it to us. It's like a beeper on a dryer that says, alert, alert. Well, we can think, oh, the laundry's done, or oh, the laundry's done. A problem will alert us that some action needs to be taken. So when you have a problem, you're losing your temper too much with your kids, you're snipping at your husband, you're grumbling because you don't have, the career that you thought you were going to have. You need to reframe it and take that problem and say, this problem is a warning sign that I need to make a change. A change in my attitude, a change in what I'm doing, or I need to seek someone to help me. Okay? So those problems are change your attitude, seek for a different option, or get someone to help you. And that was on my list, and I'm sure it'll be written really, really well in my blog when it gets posted, which I'll let you know when that is. But little mama, I don't want you to have this negative self-talk going on in your head, because the world will just continue to keep it there. You can't continue to go on Pinterest and Facebook and trying to project something so that you can hide your struggles and your problems. And you're learning to get all this transitioning with all the kids and everything. You can't. You can't be in your house and never let anybody come over for fear they're going to see that you really don't live in the little life that you're projecting. Ask for help. Be with friends. I'm constantly telling everyone, find other moms that are like you and encourage one another. And do this. Remind yourself when your friend calls you and she tells you, oh, I'm upset, I'm angry. Listen to her really well and care about what she's saying. But friend, tell her, is there anything praiseworthy about this? Can we find any good in this? If this is a problem, how can we reframe it? Sorry, someone else is calling me, and I know who she is. Amy, you're going to have to call me back. You should be on the Balanced Mom Life right now, on Mom Life with Mona. Instead, she's calling me. But that's kind of how it is at the Mom Life. So all that to say, you can change the negative mom, the mom negative self-talk. The mouthful, isn't it? You can change it, but you're going to have to know that it's not true. It's not real. And if it is a thing that's bothering you, it is a problem that needs to be solved, you have the ability to do that. So reframe what you think, change the problem if it can be changed, and all in all, get help if you need it. That's what the Balanced Mom Life is all about. It's what Mom Life's about. It's what the Mom Mentor's about. And if you send me your questions, which this was one of the questions, I'll be happy to answer it and address it. Because we've got to get our motherhood, our womanhood, and our marriages back in order. We have, that's great, sorry. We have to get these things in order for us to be able to live the way God has us to live. And it's not hard. It just takes a little work. But I'm here to help you. So that's it for today. I hope that you have a really good day in Dallas. It's a little cloudy out. And I'm getting ready to go into some of our very first mentoring groups. It's on True Woman 202. And I love you too, Allie. So good to see you. I do have mentoring spots available, but they won't be until the spring. So if you message me on Facebook, I can put you on a waiting list if you want to be part of some of the one-on-one, well, actually they're group mentoring ones. I don't have one-on-one for probably not until May because I'm locked in with some of the girls I'm helping. So that's it. I'm the Balanced Mom. And, well, I'm kind of trying to beat them out. I need to get off this thing. Goodbye, y'all. Goodbye. Go. Go be sweet with your babies and read that scripture. Philippians 4. Read it. Love you guys. Bye.